not on the fence about it anymore. She went in and went for it. Last time we talked to her, she said she loves her man, and he's great in every area except one that he's really, really bad in.
She did not mince words. She basically said he is the worst in bed. They've been married for 12 years. They got married super young. She has no regrets. They've built a wonderful life together. Literally everything is perfect in every other category except for the physical category. He does not satisfy her in any way, shape, or form. I mean, she goes on to say he's clumsy, not romantic, terrible at foreplay. He's been open to suggestions, but then she said it's like trying to teach a blind person to drive.
Oof.
And that's when we were like, all right, girl. So she's 36 and her frustration has peaked, and she now is searching for someone to satisfy her in that way. She even had gone as far as to check out Ashley Madison. And if you're not familiar, that is a site where married people go to have extramarital affairs.
And again, she was saying everything was cool, but if I could just find a stranger that could satisfy me in a safe way, then maybe it even makes my marriage stronger. I don't know about all that, right? So she wasn't really sure she was going to do that or not. And we did get a couple of calls from people that were like, I tried that. That's not good.
Didn't work.
I think the people who called it blew up in their faces.
Yeah. So this is the update that she sent us. Thank you for all the advice last week. What is it you call people? Assholes? That's when you're constantly asking somebody to give you advice and you never take their advice. You're an asshole.
Because we told her, didn't we all agree that, listen, if you're going to do this, you can't do it behind his back. Like, you need to be open and honest with him about what's going on.
100%.
Yeah, and most of you guys were calling up telling that, not most, all of you, don't do it. I've tried it, like you said before, and it did not work out well. So she says, I didn't take the advice. It was the most surreal experience of my life, I'd say. In all honesty, all the sneaking around and getting to know somebody online was, dare I say, a turn on? Maybe it was like my foreplay? I don't know. But there was a mix of emotions between excitement and guilt. I set this date up with a guy at a very fancy 5-star hotel. His request. We both knew the intent. I told him this was my first time doing something like this. He said I'd be the third person he's met up with over the years. Anyway, for some reason, I thought if he had the money to pay for this hotel for a few hours, then he was safe.
Because only poor people are murderers. Okay.
Well, I mean, if you are going to... How many murders do you hear happening at the Four Seasons or the Ritz-Carlton? There aren't a lot. It's generally Motel 6.
You don't watch enough crime docs.
Is it happening in a 5-star hotel?
It happens everywhere.
Really?
Yeah.
You're going to mess up the sheets and stuff in a 5-star hotel?
I'm just trying not to stereotype, okay?
Anyway, she says, he seemed sweet. He seemed understanding and said he was in a similar situation, but left out way more details than I did. Kind of mysterious, but it didn't matter. So... let me fast forward. We met at this 5-star hotel in the middle of the day at the bar. He already checked in, I bet. He's like, I am ready to go.
Man, it was early.
Yep. So I think the drinks were more for me. We talked for about 2 hours. I had to be home 2 hours later. Well, one drink led to the other, and as you can guess, we ended up in his room. She writes, Jesus, I was so nervous on the elevator ride on the way up. He could sense it, I think, and he held my hand. That's how nice he was. I really get the sense that he's a really good guy. So we get into the room.
How good of a guy can he be if he's doing this?
Oh.
Yeah.
She says, we get into the room, and to make a long story even shorter, she says, I couldn't do it. She said, I broke down crying. The guilt got to me. I just wasn't ready. She says he was totally understanding. He held me. We talked about how I was feeling. I apologized over and over again. He was so sensitive and understanding, but I just couldn't do it. So the following morning, I Googled sex therapists near me. I did the homework. I'm planning on presenting him with the idea. Fingers crossed. Thank you for the advice you gave me. Weird how it all ended up.
Well, it took her almost doing a bad thing to realize that she really does care about her husband and she wants to commit to fixing this.
Mo looks like he smelled a fart.
I mean, all I really got out of this was that she gets a kick out of infidelity. I mean, that's what she pretty much said in the beginning. Like, it was foreplay for me to sneak around, and you did enough to where, even though you didn't go through with it, in my eyes, you still cheated on your husband. That's how I see it.
So does she go to the husband now when she's presenting him with this idea to go see a sex therapist, not knowing if he's going to be open to it or not? Because she's already talked to him about how he sucks in bed. So does she say, like, I just want to let you know that I almost had a physical affair with somebody and I didn't, and that's what got me to this point? Or does she just conveniently kind of leave that part out of the whole thing?
See, I think you can say the first part, but depending on the kind of person he is, he's going to want details. Well, when you say almost, like, what defines almost? Did you just think about it and plot it out in your head, or did you actually start executing some of that plan?
I think, let's just assume what's on the table is she goes all in and says, I went on this website, I talked to 3 dudes, I met him at a hotel room, and then I pulled a U-turn and didn't do anything. But that's how close I was, and I don't ever want to feel that ever again. Can we please go see somebody about that?
All right, so she says that to you guys. Is that going to light a fire under you to be better in bed, or is that going to be the nail in the coffin of the relationship?
For me personally, it would be the nail in the coffin of the relationship.
I feel just the opposite.
Like,
Yeah.
for me, you might as well have went through with it.
Yeah. Well, go ahead. Say more about it. You just feel like that's cheating. You
Yeah.
set the whole thing up. You're on websites.
When you're on sites, you're talking to the guy, you meet up with the guy, you go there, you go to his room, you're holding hands in the elevator, all of that. He's holding you, all of that. I mean, at that point, you might as well have went through with it.
Well, I'm not telling her about the hand. I'd go anywhere except the hand holding.
But she didn't, Mo. She didn't go through with it because she realized how much she loves you.
Well, that was foolish.
And that she couldn't do that to you.
You should have got your money's worth. I'm gone.
No, man, I think I'd be initially pissed, really hurt, and then once I got over that, I'd be all in. This is not a nail in the coffin for me. How about you?
I respect it.
Oh, man. I can't believe I'm going to say this. We would work it out.
Yeah.
We would work it out. It wouldn't be easy, but we would work it out.
Now, had he gone through with it?
Oh,
Not so much, huh? Not so much. Okay.
The Bert Show.
So, first, thanks for watching. Second, you like what you just watched? That just scratches the surface. Get The Bert Show on any podcast platform. We're so good.